All right, my name is Rachel Hammer. I'm originally from the Shenandoah Valley, and then I left the Shenandoah Valley and went to UNC Chapel Hill for college. When I finished college, I went into the military, United States Military Police Corps, United States Army. Came out of the Military Police Corps and into civilian law enforcement with the United States Capitol Police in Washington, D.C., and then had a tour overseas with the Army in Iraq. Came back from there and decided that life was too short to not come home and help take care of my grandparents and be back with my family. So I came back to this area and started in local law enforcement. I did. It's interesting because since I was a young child, I've been involved in sports and things like that are typically male pursuits. Went from sports in high school to sports in college, then into the military and into police work, all of which are male-dominated fields. And it never occurred to me there would be obstacles just because I was a female until, the longer I was involved, the more I saw. And that made it a little more clear that there were some obstacles there. Obviously, I had a lot fewer obstacles than the women that came before me. But being involved in the military and law enforcement for the past 16 years has shown me there have been vast improvements, but there's also a long way to go. And the biggest thing, I think, is if the need to prove yourself, to feel like you have to prove yourself more maybe than others to get the respect that you deserve. But it doesn't come from everybody, but there's definitely some holdouts that want to push you a little harder or want to, that make you work a little more to get that equal billing, I guess you could say. And that's something that I've found was not as big a deal in a broader sense than when I came back to a local area where it was a little more pronounced, because it was odd. It was odd for a female to be involved in these things, or to be or to want to do the same things that mostly males were doing in this area. So that's when I found it to be a little more of a challenge. And I think a big part of being a female in male-dominated fields is realizing that and helping your peers and also the new females that are coming into the job and making them aware of it and saying, hey, this is something that's a fact of life in this profession, and not to say that it's okay or just deal with it, get over it, but to say, hey, listen, be aware of it and know that if it happens, it's not just you, that's the way it works, and you figure out ways to work through it and ways to help each other. Well, the little bit I know about it, not being involved with the university itself, I think it's a good idea that they are talking to people and letting people discuss the issue without just making a stand one way or the other. I think that's the important part, is getting people's input and seeing what people think about it, seeing where they stand on it. As far as the university itself, I mean, as a private university, I think it's up to the university to decide whether they want to who they want to hire and when and why. I don't think there's for me, it's kind of it's a university issue. It's their issue to decide, and getting input from students and faculty, I think, is the right way to go about it. But I don't think they have an obligation to hire anybody if they don't feel like it's going to fit for the university. That's my take on it. I mean, I like the fact that people are being able to have their voices heard before a decision gets made. For me, I don't think I would, because if they weren't going to hire me for that reason, then I don't think I'd want to work there anyway. Does that make sense to you? I feel like it's their decision, and if they choose not to hire someone because of that, then it's unfortunate for the university and for that person, but that's kind of the way that the world is right now. If I don't think I would personally take that position. I wouldn't want to put myself in that position, and if anybody else could do that, then that's a personal decision they would have to make for themselves if they were willing to sacrifice that in order for it to have a job at the university. Again, it's definitely an issue of personal preference for me. That's what it comes down to, and I don't feel that the university, as I said, has any obligation to hire anybody that they don't feel will enrich their environment. Do I agree with that? No, I think the more diversity you can have, especially in a place that prides themselves on diversity, I would think that'd be a positive thing. However, it's up to them. I would say don't let anybody else make decisions for you. Don't let someone else's intolerance of you or intolerance of the idea of you in a situation make you stop doing what you think is right or what you want to do. That's the biggest thing. You can't let other people decide your future. It's got to be your decision, and you've got to be the one that can stand by it.